Attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hey everybody, it is Mike and I'm here with Greg. You there, Greg?
I'm here. What's going on, everyone?
All right, let us know if you can hear. We are here for your OMG NHB 2014 Project X. This is our orientation and acceleration webinar. We're going to be here to orient you to what's going on inside of your members area and your coaching, and of course your also inside of your groups, your Facebook group and your LinkedIn group. And we'll also try to accelerate you, move you forward as fast as possible when it comes to that whole money getting thing. We have a ton of people on here. It's a Saturday. We'll begin with the Lord's Prayer. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever and ever. Amen. All right, we are fired up. We are getting started here. Let's see who else in the audience. We got Philip, Kathy. Oh, hey, Jim. Jim's here. Chris, Sal, Dennis, Bob. A bunch of people here. Getting shout outs from all around the world. What we're going to do, probably the majority of this webinar will be, Greg just doing, walking you through the fundamentals of what we're trying to do, especially with private blog networks, what we think of as search engine supremacy. You might get to some question answering, but that's not the primary purpose of this event. The primary purpose of this event is to orient you to what's going on and accelerate you moving forward. So, hey, Edgar just joined us, David just joined us. Hey, guys, how's it going? I'm really excited.
Can you make Fletch and I organizers?
Yeah, I could do that.
So we can see questions.
Yeah, for a small fee. Okay, let's see here. Make organizer, and then make Fletch and organizer. We've been really excited about this particular event. I think it's going to be particularly fantastic. Now, how many folks? Just to find out, how many folks have already gotten inside of the brand new monetization area, beginning with the objective in mind? I just updated it the day before yesterday. Kind of went through a major overhaul. You see here on December 17th. Oh, maybe we didn't actually even announce it. All right. Well, anyways, let me know if you've been inside of the new monetization area. And we also have some other news updates. You really should be logging in. This is your touchstone, your project's members area here. Your breaking news feed is going to constantly let you know what's going on. Here's, of course, the sign up link to this event. So I know you all have been in here somewhere recently. Also, the law of implication just went live today. We actually just sent out a dispatch about that. But there's law of implication training. It's probably right down here, right here in the bottom right-hand corner. And there's a whole money getting module. I believe David just added another money getting video. I actually just watched it this morning. The law of implication is the methodology and mental model for getting results and serious results. David's used it to architect over $30 million worth of websites, 1.5 million in just the last 30 days. So it works right now. Really, really terrific stuff. So we'll get more and more into that as the days and weeks come on. But anyways, what I want to do is just get you oriented and get accelerated, getting started here. Now, most of this event is going to be spent on search engine supremacy, firing up our private blog networks, what we think of as our little Death Star for money getting. But I want to start off with money getting, because we always, that's one of the reasons why we have monetization right at the very top of your link section, because we want to begin with the end in mind. We really want to begin with money getting in mind. People talk about taking massive action. That's actually one of the great things about the law of implication, because it really explains our approach. We don't so much go for massive action. We go for, step one, win, step two, attack. How many people have heard me say that? Step one, win, step two, attack. It actually comes from David Mills. We really want to win before we get started. Yes, we'll take plenty of action, but we want our action to be really targeted around success. And by the way, we also have Fletch live on this event. Fletch, are you there?
Yep, I'm here, Mike.
All right, terrific. One of the things we'll also be able to do is have Fletch be able to walk you through Fletch's little particular money-getting area, and better help you understand how to consume his coaching and how to take advantage, full advantage of that. Fletch, we're so glad to have you here. Thank you so much. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, absolutely. I'm anxious to kind of jump on with both you guys and be able to kind of take this from all different angles. And,
Yeah, excellent,
get
excellent.
everybody
I feel the same way. I feel the same way. And definitely let us know why you're here and what you're most excited about. What I want to do is start with the monetization area. Now, there's primarily, when we've got a website, really what we're going to be using our website to do for money getting purposes is we're going to advertise for something. Okay, we're going to advertise for either our own product or for somebody else's product. Of course, if we don't have a product, now we've got Jim, for example. Jim's got a product. Actually, I think Jim, correct me if I'm wrong, but you've actually got a number of products. And we have some members of Project X who do have their own product, and that's terrific. And of course, you can use this search engine supremacy stuff to rank for your own product and to advertise your own product. We definitely recommend that. And as time goes on, we'll probably give you more and more insight on how you could craft your own product. I believe that probably everybody here has $1 million product in them. That's a terrific way to go. But today, we're going to really have our primary focus on advertising for other people's products, either doing what we think of as affiliate marketing or doing what we think of as day job killer local client consulting. And so as I click in on your monetization page, this monetization page is primarily built around either doing affiliate, which includes CPA, day job killer, traditional affiliate stuff, selling ebooks and so forth, and it includes day job killer, local client consulting. What's this here? Oh, that's okay. That's good, George. It's good that you got started with that. That's actually really terrific. So the thing is that what we want to do is we want to be able to do. Let me just kind of pull this up here really quickly. In terms of money getting, in terms of getting started with money getting, we have two big paths. Now, of course, again, if you have your own product, then of course you're going to advertise for your own product, and that's great. But we have two great methodologies. One is affiliate, which includes CPA, launch jacking, and traditional affiliate offers. That might be stuff that you're doing on Amazon or ClickBank products, commission junction products that are kind of evergreen and so on, review sites, stuff like that. And then our other way that we make most of our money is day job killer local client consulting. And if you've gotten into the monetization area, you'll notice that one of our actual chief methods, I'll just scroll down here, is multiple streams of income. Really, we're huge believers here in multiple streams of income where you can do both affiliate marketing and day job killer local client consulting, doing a bit of both. Now, give me the number one if you've already downloaded the Project X ebook that Greg and David Mills made up for you. Give me the number one if you've already downloaded that and looked through that. That's a really terrific start. It's going to give you a baseline. And give me the number two if you haven't already. Hey, Mary, how's it going? Good to see you here. Seems like a lot of people. Milos hasn't yet. Yeah, Milos, you definitely want to get in there and download it. Philip hasn't yet. Cookie, great. There's no problem in the world. I actually used to have it a little bit lower down the page. Just a few minutes ago, I moved it to the top of the page. This is a really terrific resource. I believe that David Mills is actually thinking about doing a new edit of it. But regardless, this is going to be a great walkthrough of what it is that we're doing and how we're doing it. Now, I just created this new monetization overview video. I think it was like the day before yesterday. Might have even been yesterday. I tend to lose track of the time a little bit. That'll walk you through this area. But I want to do it right now with you one more time. So we've got affiliate marketing and day job killer local client consulting. Now, there's 4 links in this monetization area. And let me distinguish what we mean by monetization. What we mean by monetization is beginning with the end in mind, having the basic fundamental idea behind how it is that we're going to make our money before we start putting up a website, before we reach out to a customer, just having a general idea. And there's another idea in money getting that we think of as conversion. And that's once we're already getting visitors, once we already have people coming in, how do we improve from there? Okay, but with monetization, that's beginning with the end in mind. Can we add a Facebook link to the top of the page? Oh, hey, Greg, how are we generally adding? Hopefully everybody is joining in on Facebook and the LinkedIn group. Greg, primarily for joining Facebook group, they're just generally adding you as a friend and then asking you to add them to the group. Is that how it's working?
Yeah, add me as a friend. There's a link on the homepage, your members area, and then send me a message saying that you're a Project Next member and give me your receipt. If I don't answer within 48 hours, message me again, because sometimes it's weird, like I won't get messages from someone until they send me a second message later on. I'll see their first message. So if within 48 hours you aren't added, just message me again. I'll get you added.
Okay, great. And as far as the Facebook page here, I wonder where that is. I don't exactly know where it is on this page. Try to figure this out. I'll try to figure this out as the webinar goes along. I don't want to break too much. You know, a little hard for me to do two things at once. But you'll add Greg as a friend, send him a message, and send him your receipt. That's the primary way of doing that. And then for LinkedIn, what you're going to do is search for Project X Team Group. And if that doesn't work, add me as a friend.
And by the way, Mike, the directions for Facebook are under December 10th.
Under December 10th. So great. So you can look at this December 10th post right here. Boom, right here. Facebook.com/melovemoney. What a great name, by the way. Okay, so the December 10th post is where you'll currently find it. It'll always be somewhere on the homepage, though, if you're seeing this orientation acceleration webinar a little bit later on. Okay, so you definitely want to join both of these groups and be active in them. The rules for the groups are we think quite straightforward. The groups are for networking, test results, and for support. To cheer each other along. What we don't allow is any sort of negativity whatsoever, and no product reviews, because that's just not what they're for. We've thought through a number of different formats, a number of different ways that we can do groups, including forums. We've tried forums a couple times in the past, and we find that the groups, of course, every different format will have its different strengths, and we understand that. It turns out that for really rapid money-getting results and sustained results, that these groups are much more powerful, and we have both a LinkedIn group and a Facebook group, and we think that you should join both of them. They're really, really terrific, and they're going to continue to grow as time goes on. And Todd's asking, is the Facebook group for Project X the same as the NHB Facebook group? It is. It is. That is correct. All right, and Michael, thanks for letting us know about the LinkedIn group. The link for the Facebook group. Okay, so that's how you join those groups. Go ahead.
Real quick, Mike, if you send me a message and ask me to add you, if we're not friends, I can't add you, just so you guys know.
Okay, so you have to add.
Friend request.
Yeah, so you have to add Greg as a friend. All right, great. So it's a little
John,
bit
you just
more.
messaged me, and I can't add you because we're not friends. Yeah, just send me a friend request. I'll get you added, then. Okay, I got your friend request.
Yeah, and these groups are vital to your success. So please don't skimp on them. Weirdly, if you get nothing else out of this webinar, make sure that you join each of these groups. That they're really just so mission critical to your success. They'll help you in any number of ways. And there's a reason we have both a Facebook and a LinkedIn group. They have different strengths and different weaknesses, different options, and they're just both terrific. You want to be members of both of them.
And Mike, did you get things worked out with Daryl today?
I heard from Daryl. I just passed that to David. That's more of a thing for David to handle.
Okay.
Okay, great. Okay, so let's get back into into monetization. So when it comes to monetization, if you just have no idea whatsoever how to make money with OMG NHB 2014 Project X, you're going to want to do one of two things. Unless you have your own product already and you're ready to move forward. But even if you have your own product, so often it's better to start off as an affiliate or doing day job killer local client consulting. So if you have no idea of how to get started, you're going to want to do one of two things, which is either focus on affiliate or day job killer local client consulting. And if you're not sure which of those to do, then the answer is both. You're going to want to do both. They're both actually very powerful in conjunction. We think of this as multiple streams of synergistic income, because if you know how to do affiliate marketing, you are 90% or more of the way to doing day job killer local client consulting, and vice versa. If you know how to do day job killer local client consulting, then you are 90% of the way towards doing affiliate marketing. And this is really important because you never know when you have like a $10,000 check sitting right in your grasp, and if you didn't try day job killer local client consulting, then you wouldn't have gotten to it. Or the same thing could happen with affiliate marketing. Greg, if you just hadn't started KLKS, it wouldn't be making you, 5 figures per month.
Right, yeah. And that wasn't even the plan with that site, just kind of, that's how it works, it kind of takes off.
And it really did, like you really did not know that was going to be, a $1,000 a day site.
No, how it started was, people kept saying like we were just doing coaching to that's how we make our money as coaching. So I was like, all right, I'm going to make a site, and I'm just going to show people that we can make sites and make money. We can make money that way just as easily. That we enjoy coaching, that's why we do it. So I wanted to just make like $100, $200 a day a site, and end up just turning into $1,000 a day site. So.
All right, great.
Now we have there's other SEO gurus like using our website as an example, and because it's not seeing where someone shows an example, like a real live example, making that money, because then everyone copies it and tries to. People could mess with it or stuff like that. So.
Yeah. Putting it out there certainly like somewhat diminishes the results, but then overall, it's really just not that big of a deal. Okay, so now let me ask folks this. I'm very, very interested to know how many people have tried local client consulting, either just on their own or through other trainings, and feel like it's hard or not for them. Give me the number one if you've tried it with somebody else's training and you felt like it's hard and it's not for you. Okay, great. And I really appreciate you guys saying that. I'm not trying to lead you to that answer, but I think a lot of people have tried it with different programs. We do it extremely different, okay? There are two huge differences to the way that we do day job killer local client consulting. One is that we are way better at SEO than other people are, like far, far, far and away better. You're really starting with search engine domination and search engine supremacy. I was actually talking to somebody before this event, and we use what I like to think of as the Mr. Right method. And this is the first time I've ever brought this up, but I really want you to be aware of it. There's a lot of guys out there, guys in particular, and I think women feel the same way, but I'll just say for guys because I'm a guy. There's a lot of guys out there in dating who feel like it's difficult to find a girl. But how can that be? There are like a billion single women out there, right? Or at least, in any given country in America, let's say there's, probably 100 million or at least tens of millions eligible single women out there. They're going to bars and they're on websites and so forth. So there's certainly plenty of single women. So how can it be that you can't find them? That makes no sense. In the same way, there are millions of businesses in America alone that are really looking for day job killer local client consulting. And give me the number one if already this is giving you a little bit of an aha moment here. Because the women out there are they're not looking for Mr. Right now, they're looking for Mr. Right. Okay, they're looking for someone who's terrific. They're looking for somebody who's totally different than somebody else. By the same token, businesses out there, they're looking for Mr. or Mrs. Right, Mr. or Ms. Right or whatever it is. They're looking for somebody who can really help them crush it. They want somebody who's going to crush it. They want somebody to help them with search engine supremacy and domination. Okay, and so we really have this Mr. Right method when it comes to day job killer local client consulting, and I want you to realize that it's very, very different the way that we do it, both with regards to the results that you're going to help people get and the training that you're going to get on being able to be Mr. Right for your clients. Okay, so you really want to be Mr. Right, and between me and Greg and Fletch and some things that David's showing you inside the law implication, you're really going to show up more and more as being the entirely different person for your clients. And a lot of this applies to affiliate marketing as well. So when it comes to, I'll kind of begin with the second thing and we'll go back to the first thing. in your monetization area, I've really carefully organized it. There's just 4 links here. You're always going to start with your field training. Don't get bogged down with any of this monetization stuff, by the way. Never feel like you can't just go through some of it and then move on and start focusing in on your search engine supremacy. And of course, we've got this wonderful, how many folks have taken a look already? Let me go back to the Project X membership home. How many people have already gotten at least a good look at the huge background training section that's right here? This is going to give you your background fundamental training. Give me the number 1 if you've already looked through there, and give me the number 2 if you haven't looked there yet. Hey, Todd, I see you jumped on. It's great. Okay, a lot of people haven't seen it yet. Okay, great. This is a great resource. Once again, it's another great thing for you to be aware of. It's a huge background training section. We actually add to it significantly as we go along. This is going to give you your fundamentals, how to set up a blog, the main things that we're doing here. We've got a whole over-the-shoulder series here of how we how Greg ranked Seattle real estate agents number 1. It's a great example. So there's tons of training inside of this that'll give you your basics, graphics design training, so on. We'll get more in detail on a lot of this stuff as time goes on, but this background training is going to give you that touchstone that a lot of people may be missing. So please take advantage of that. That's really terrific. And so jumping back into the monetization area, we've got this field report and field training. This is one of the things that makes OMG NHB 2014 Project X unique, because it's not just mine and Greg's expertise that you're relying on here, and Fletch's for that matter. We have a ton of people, although Fletch is right here. Fletch did get started just as another member of NHB who just continue to have more and more success and continue to help others, and now he's taking things to a totally different level. These field reports, I've got them separated out into 2 sections. One is day job killer local client consulting, and the other is for affiliate. Although there are many more affiliate field reports in the launch tracking area, which I'll get to in a few minutes. Now, this particularly the videos with Joe Marfolio, Fletch, and Trish and Andrew, I think are really great. There's also a approach template that Rich has right here, and a template that Adam Dare has here, sample client contracts and sample client offers for people. We'll be adding more as time goes on. These are really terrific ways to see how other people inside of OMG NHB 2014 Project X are having success with clients, approaching clients, and scaling things up with clients. Now, this is not the only place that you'll get training on that, but this will give you an idea of what other people are doing, other people who are just like you. It's also just nice just to get to know some of the people that you're going to see inside of the Facebook group and inside of the LinkedIn group. All right, so I'll go back to the monetization area. Now, the next section for Day Job Killer Local Client Consulting, we've got a Day Job Killer overview video that I did right here. Well, first of all, there's this overview video in the section where I walk through what's included here. Then I've got this overview video here, which I call Day Job Killer Local Client Consulting, No More, No Less, that tells you the basics of getting clients and making money with them. Then we've got Jimmy Kelly Dominate, including Jimmy's playbook, and this is going through search engine domination, ranking sometimes even spots number 1 through number 10 for your clients, and Jimmy's playbook, which is the document that Jimmy uses to supersize his orders with customers to really get big paychecks with people. Then we've got Your City SEO. I think of this as one of the very best ways to make money with Day Job Killer Local Client Consulting, ranking number 1 for Your City SEO, or at least the closest big city near you, like me and Greg and David do for Nashville SEO. We have a number of members that you'll see inside of OMG that have success with this. David Hood, Jason Boyd, just a lot of people, Mike Hayden, just a lot of people that have success with this Day Job Killer Local Client Consulting method, Your City SEO, and something brand new for you here. This is really cool. I actually recorded a video. This will work both for you if you rank number 1 for, say, Delaware SEO or Nashville SEO or so forth. But this will also be very successful for you just for any sort of Day Job Killer Local Client Consulting stuff. This is a 15-minute video that I recorded live with an actual client. I recorded this last week. And what we're trying to do is more and more help you sort of flip the script and have the leverage be in your favor. So this is basically a video where I got $500 for 15 minutes talking to a client saying, basically, you pay me $500 and I will tell you what I think that I can do for your website or that you could do for yourself to get great results. and this is the follow-up email I sent to him, and he responded right away and took me up on my offer right away. So you actually hear me talking to a person. He did not know he was being recorded, but such are the laws of Tennessee. I am able to do that, and it's okay if local city SEO XXX is already taken. That's fine. You can do like local city SEO expert or Greg. I mean, they can just do what you did with KLKS and get an expired domain. That's probably even better.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can get those, and there's a video on that. I'll cover that when I go over my stuff, but there's a video on how to do that in there as well.
Okay, great. So really, expired domains are even better. They're going to give you even much more of an unfair advantage when it comes to that.
Yeah, if you're going to go with the like the brand route or like just like a general domain route, not EMD or partial EMD, then expired domains can be a great way to go. They don't have to be expensive either.
Yeah, they do not have to be expensive. So does that sound good to y'all that I did that? Do you want me to try to do a little bit more of that? The $500 15-minute video? I can't promise that I can always keep it to 15 minutes. Now, the reason why this is so great is he's paying $500 for me to sell him more stuff, basically. That's really what it boils down to. And he will buy more stuff from me. But this is the first step to supersizing things. We really want to get things more and more on our side and leverage, and by the way, there's a lot of pressure on me on these videos if I do it, because I know I'm recording it for you. I know you're going to watch it, so hopefully it'll go through. Hopefully it'll work. But I enjoy it. Now, Mary, who's a new OMG NHP 2014 Project X, provided this wonderful web approach letter right here, and she's actually on the session right now. So thanks again to you, Mary. This is how Mary has been generating clients off of various websites like Freelancer and so forth. This is a video from Greg on client pricing, and then the Day Job Killer example series that I did with Mark Ling on all kinds of various different ways that you can sell clients and different things that you can sell clients. So we really have tremendous training here. We're going to continue to add to it, but there's so much there now already, and it's really going to get you going. Now, that's the Day Job Killer stuff. Then affiliate stuff, I'm equally proud of our affiliate stuff. And again, you can do both of these. For launch jacking, we have a ton of field reports from people making 6 figures doing launch jacking. Matai, El Sayed, Adam Black, Rob Jones, John Pemberthy. The key with launch jacking is you make quick money, but really look to scale up from there. Look to trade up and build something bigger. Start making your own products, or start partnering with other people. Start building up from there. We have a wonderful launch jacking overview series, and coming very soon, Joe Marfolio and I will be releasing a launch jacking calendar that will let you know what launches are coming up and a little bit more about how to do things. It's going to be a tremendous section for you. Very, very valuable. And then finally, affiliate marketing. Very proud of this area as well. I have tracked down the very best affiliate programs out there and identified, in many cases, these are affiliate programs that are exclusively available to members of OMG NHP 2014 Project X. And I have tracked down the people making these programs, making these products, and gotten them to tell us how it is to best promote them, what keywords to go after, how best to promote in these niches, and how best to make the most success. We've got the gold niche right here, which includes gold, and Mike Swanson's Wall Street Window program that's only open to members of OMG NHP 2014 Project X and to people who attended OMG Live Nashville. That's right here. And then we've got the survival niche, the survival and prepper niche here. This all works as one kind of team. Any site that works for gold will work for investment. It will work for prepping. The reason I added these other programs is I wanted to expand your keywords so we don't just have everybody going after gold IRA or silver IRA. So you can go after, for example, with investment sites, you can really go after news items or gold stocks or stock market tips. Same with prepper stuff. Okay, so we really want to expand so you can get to more and more programs. Now, next is the relationship advice niche. I threw down with Mark Ling just a few days ago, and he's got a number of affiliate products that you can promote in the relationship advice niche, including brand new ones. And I take you inside of those, and then I have a number of other offers from other top gurus in that space, other top 10 ClickBank offers like Chris Haddad's that you can go after and that you can add to your sites. And again, this is a lot like what Greg is doing with KLKS. Greg, you don't just sell V2 cigarettes, you sell all kinds of different cigarettes, and that expands your money getting.
Absolutely. I mean, we give them options, and at the same time, we can rank for different brands. And You know, a lot of people just go after the top brands. You can go after, you know, the medium level brands, even the low level brands if you want. Like, you don't have to start at the top. You don't have to, you know, rank for electronic cigarette and, you know, V2 cigs review. You can go after the lower hanging fruit and kind of work your way up.
Yeah, exactly. So you can go through these brands, and also there's a number of number of different keywords that you can go after in the relationship advice market that we take you inside of in these videos to, you know, to really expand what you can go after. Because remember, with these sites that Greg's teaching you how to build, you can rank for not one keyword but hundreds or even thousands of keywords. And then we have other affiliate niches here. This is Brad Howard's health and fitness stuff with Venus Factor. It's the #1 product on all of ClickBank. Brad's been enormously generous with members of Project X for this series. We've also got NHB or Tim Schmidt's e-commerce stuff with cosmetics. That's available for you here. And then Glenn Ledwell's Mind Movies program. These are each programs where you're hearing directly from the horse's mouth, directly from the guru themselves. And that really helps you have an absolute unfair advantage when it comes to things. How many people here, give me the #1 if you see your monetization area in a wholly different way, if you feel like much more fired up now about what you can do with things. And that's a bit of a leading question, but like we've really put caring into this. And why? Why have I put so much caring into this? Because I know you're going to rank. I know you're going to crush it. And so I want you to have somebody to crush it with. And with that, what I want to do is I want to turn you over to Greg. I'll still be around. I'll be on for this entire event. But I want to get you over to Greg and turn the screen over to Greg so we can get right into search engine domination and search engine supremacy. And Fletch, may I ask you this? Are you having to get the opportunity to answer a few people's questions in the question box, or if there are questions that are coming through that aren't being answered very well, you can maybe forward them to me?
Oh yeah, that works out perfectly, Mike. Yeah, I've been kind of paying attention. I've answered a few already, but
terrific.
Yeah, I'll keep doing that. Yep.
Terrific. I appreciate you doing that. Okay, Greg, are you ready to take the bull by the horns and take things from here?
I am.
All right, great. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I give you Greg Morrison, the guy who I call the one-man gang. I'm really excited to share this with you today.
All right, you can see my screen okay?
Yep, I can see it well.
All right, cool. By the way, I mean, not only like is this membership just crazy, but even like I'm learning stuff, like, you're not learning stuff, but I'm just getting ideas. Like, when I got together with Jimmy, he was telling me about the how he blankets the first page, and just today I just hit the first page for my mom's business right here. And before, you know, I had her website, and he was like, you know, why don't you get a Facebook page up? Why don't you get a Weebly up? And that's what I started doing. Then we got a video down here, like #6, which is coming up. And then on page 2, you know, I used his Weebly tricks. We got a Weebly thing right here. So, you know, even I'm using some of this stuff in here, like, as kind of like add-ons. So, you know, we're just really excited to give you guys this stuff. All right, so let's go to the Supremacy main page, which is this is. Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna log in here. Why are you doing that to me? All right, there we go. Sorry about that. All right, so this is the Supremacy page. Let me just go back and make sure everyone sees where I clicked. And this is like where we kind of want you guys to get your base. You know, we really would like everyone to get your blog network started, because, I mean, that's probably, it is the most stable form of rankings right now, where you just have total control of everything you can do. You know, you control where your links are going. You can rank with very little links. You can go back and change your anchor text. I mean, you just have total control. If a client ends up not paying you because they're already ranked, you can take down their links, and then of course they'll be calling you later saying, you know, how do I get back up? And you can, you know, get them back on board at a higher price. So, you know, just a blog network is the holy grail. We call it the Death Star, and this is all about blog networks. Okay, we got important concepts here where I just go over. These are kind of like the basics, like, you know, stuff about PageRank. Everyone says, you know, just get high PageRank domains, but that's not all it's about. So I kind of explain PageRank there. Domain authority is getting huge. As you know, as we talk about, YouTube has a very high domain authority, Facebook, and that's why we can do pages like you saw here, my mom's Facebook page. We can just kind of blast them, and they rank very easily because they already have high domain authority. All right, so I didn't blast this with spam. I actually did it with a few blog network links, but you can also blast them with spam because of that high domain authority. So I covered domain authority there, and then just footprints, how to cover up your site so you don't get found as easily, so competitors can't look into what you're doing, and then that's covered guest posting. All right, so this video right here goes over finding expired domains. I go over how I find expired domains, okay? And this one here was the one that Mike was talking about where you can use an expired domain for money sites. And in this video I cover what exactly you want to look for as far as a money site for an expired domain opposed to a blog network site. Just an overview that the basic differences are, you're looking more at the domain name because you don't want a site on cats when the site name's dogs.com, so you got to pay more attention to the domain name. A little more attention to the age, and then of course the anchor text, because if it has a lot of branded anchor text, that's very good. You're kind of giving yourself a big head start. Supremacy safe setup. This is just covering again how to safely set up your site. Getting the right security settings. Make sure you don't have footprints, spider spanner blocks, aggregators. But we explain all that in these videos here. All right, about hosting, I just described different stuff about hosting, but we recommend you start with Todd Spears hosting, and that's covered in this section. It's called BizBuilder Hosting. But as you get more sites, you want to expand and use different hosts. And the reason for that is if you have, let's say you have 100 blog network sites, and they're all with the same host, okay? Most likely they're going to be on 1 or 2 servers. Well, what happens if one of those servers goes down? What if you have 100 sites on one server, and all those sites are down, and that's your whole network, and all those links are pointing to your sites? Well, all your links are down at once. What if they start getting crawled, and Google's like, well, that's weird. The site has links from different sites, but they're all down at the same time. That's fishy, okay? So once you start getting more and more sites, you want to start expanding your hosting to different people, and we talk about different hosts in there. WordPress settings for your network sites, just the different settings you want to set. Adding content, how I kind of post. I actually do a PBN example down here. This is a pretty cool video that I did recently where I show exactly how I post to my network and kind of like what I think about. This shows how you can do it with Magic Submitter. I don't use Magic, but this shows how you can do it. This is software I created to kind of help manage your network, and then these are frequently asked questions that I get about PBNs. Okay. Here's some backlinking instructions. Here's a video I just did a few days ago. People are loving this video. And it's for people who are really on a bigger budget. Like if you spend a lot of money on this course, you don't make much money, you don't have much money, you can still build a private blog network inexpensively, and this shows you how you can do it. Okay. Then alternate routes. This shows you how to rank a site. Because the approach is going to be a little different if it's an exact match domain or it's an expired domain with no links.
And
so
Greg,
I just cover if you're using either of these routes.
Greg, just 1 second. I don't want to gloss over that last video. Just depending on how your audio quality was and so forth. The previous video that Greg was just talking about, that's been an enormously popular video for us. How many people have seen Greg's building a PBN, building a Death Star on the cheap video that he just showed? Give us number 1 if you've already watched it. I think a lot of people already watched it. Everybody should study. Diane says amazing. Yeah, we're getting lots of number 1s here. Everyone should study that video probably multiple times. David Simpson says it saved me money. We got a 1 exclamation point from Jim. Awesome video, Steve says. Yeah, that's a really terrific video. And Greg, in terms of the fundamentals, I know we're going to get more into this, but in terms of the fundamentals of really picking up blog networks on the cheap, these blog network sites, you're so often getting sites for even 1/10 of what they would normally close for. Is that right?
Yeah. It's funny, Mike, because when we do like webinars, like kind of promoting Project X, I try to tell people just one video can pay for the price of the course, and people think it's like a sales pitch, but it's not. Like this video right here, if I had this when I was first starting, I would have saved myself like 25 grand the first few months. So I mean, stuff like this is just don't undervalue this, because the stuff in here people just don't know about, and just the little tips that even kind of seem obvious. You're like, oh, I just didn't think about that. Well, that's the type of stuff that can save you a lot of money. Trust me. Just bidding on a lot more sites, doing more research, putting in more time to save yourself getting stuck on domains. I'd use that all the time. I would really like a site, and I would just bid way too much against it. And then, of course, the other side is you start bidding against people and you don't want to lose. Like, you get mad that someone's bidding you up, so you want to bid them up. So little stuff like that, it can really, really hurt the amount of money you spend on network sites.
Yeah, and something I want people to know is the value of these sites is really much more than we're really letting on to. It's kind of one of the things we don't, in the marketing of OMG and HB 2014 Project X, we actually intentionally are very quiet about the value of these websites. And even if you're paying quote unquote too much for them, they're still probably worth it. But really, in so many cases, I mean, very often you can get a site for $15 that the real world value of it would, I mean, in terms of what you can get out of it, would be thousands and thousands of dollars, even tens of thousands of dollars. So really taking this stuff seriously, if it's one thing, I mean, Greg, you spend sometimes 30 hours a week focused exclusively on PBNs.
Yeah, I mean, I tell people, like, if you give me $200 and you give any other SEO $2,000, I will get sites that are stronger than them. If we like compete against each other, I would outdo them with a tenth of the price. So it's all about just knowing what to look for, putting the time into the research, because you're trading time for money. Just put time into the research. And the other big thing is, if you're doing that research, make sure you're around when those auctions are ending, because I notice what I'll do is I'll do all the research and I'll forget the domains are ending. It's like I wasted all that time researching because I wasn't there when the auction was ending, where I could have bid up a little bit and I could have got the domain. So you got to use all these things.
And don't think of this. It's kind of funny because I see we're around Christmas time, so a lot of people are on eBay bidding for this or that, and it's just kind of fun stuff, right? Oh, I wanted to get this shirt, I wanted to get this video game, I wanted to get this, whatever. This is very different. This isn't just entertainment. This is like you can be getting something of major value. And so having an awareness for things. I mean, look, Christmas is coming up. Auctions are going to be closing on Christmas. Do you think that your competitors are going to be sitting around, Christmas Eve and Christmas morning? A lot of them are going to be off and they've placed their bids and they're eating Christmas turkey, and you're you're making them the real turkey. So keep this stuff in mind. Keep this stuff, auctions closing around New Year's. Who knows?
And the other thing is weekends. Auctions ending on weekends, I always get the best prices because people are usually not working on the weekends. They kind of take weekends off. So I mean, just all the little stuff like that can save you so much money.
And again, this is to get into another law of implication lesson. If you keep a notebook about what you're doing, a physical notebook with a pen and paper, and write down what you're doing and how you're doing it. Even writing down when the auctions are closing will send a powerful signal to your mind and help you track things. And next thing you know, you'll remember that an auction's closing, and you'll be able to hop over to your computer or get on your iPhone or whatever and place that bid, and get that $27 site that is really. I mean, it's funny because Greg, it's so funny to me because so many people in the internet marketing world, they're out there looking for the pot of gold keyword or whatever, or they're looking for the pot of gold niche or whatever. And this is one of the few places in the world where it really is true. Like, you really can get a total diamond in the rough.
Yeah.
At a dramatically lower price. Greg is keenly aware of almost every other, if not every other major way of getting rankings. And there's a reason why he's incredibly focused on this. And I want you to be able to be very differently focused on this. Give me the number one if just from the beginning, we're 45 minutes into this event. Give me the number one if you see PBNs different just based on the last 5 minutes of us talking about it. If you see them differently, because we can't stress the importance of this enough. We talked about client getting earlier. We talked about client getting earlier. What's one of the best things to do? Well, step one, win. Step two, attack. If you walk into a Day Job Killer local client consulting meeting and you say, listen, what makes me different than your competition? I've got sites at the ready to rank you, to ready rank you. I've got a network of sites in your niche where I can point and click. It's like a Death Star of rankings, and I can blow your competition right out of the water. Would you want that? I mean, as a client, do you think that that's attractive? I'll tell you what, because I just walked away with a huge client just saying that exact thing. Okay? So does it make sense what I'm saying about from a client getting angle? like really having that resource at the ready. All right,
And one
great.
more tip I didn't cover in the videos, because even though I know how important it is to like be there when the auction's ending, some days I just get so busy that I'm like, it'll come 3 o'clock come around, I'm like, man, the auction's already over. Like I wasted all that research I did for this day. So what I'm doing now is when I bid on the domain, I go into my phone, I set the alarm for when the site's ending. Just right away, I'll go in and set it, especially if I really like the site. So that's another thing
Yeah.
you can do.
And what I would recommend that you do is not just set that alarm, but handwrite that auction. You know, again, if there's nothing that you walk away from this event other than joining our groups and so forth, you're really doing well. I mean, these have such intrinsic value. In a lot of cases, you could just turn right around and sell these sites. So really taking this seriously is going to put you on a totally different level. All right, thanks so much,
Yes.
Greg. I apologize for interrupting that.
Oh, good. Now, but yeah, the last thing here I was talking about is the alternate routes, where if you're not going with the regular way, an exact match or sorry, an expired domain with links, which is my favorite way to go. If you're going to go with an exact match domain or a partial exact match domain, a brand new domain, or you're going with an expired domain with no links, then check this out, because you want to do things a little differently. For an exact match domain, you want to link your anchor text a little differently. And expired domains with no links, you just want to be a little more careful with the speed. You can do it the same amount of speed, but just be cautious, because if it has less links and or if it has less links, then you want to take it a little slower, because it just has less power and less trust to it. All right. But yeah, the supremacy. This is all about blog networks. You really want to make sure you nail home that section there. All right, domination main page. This is all about setting up like social stuff, and I go over kind of what we did for KLKS here. This is just like the initial setup for a site that I like to do. Like if it's a really important site, you don't have to do this. Okay, we've been talking about this where it's still mainly about the links. Like links are mainly what ranks you, but if it's a big site, an important site, I do like to do this right here, and you can watch this video where you set up a YouTube, a Facebook, a Twitter, and you kind of get that social, kind of get that initial trust going, and then you start building links after that. Okay. And then of course in here we got magic lessons, and additional magic stuff here, stuff on spinning. Website structure. This is all about like how to set up like silos and stuff like that. And we got all these videos here. But I just did this video pretty recently, how you can manually silo. And then we also have the tool you can use from Russell and Sue. They have the automatic siloing tool. If you don't know where that is, Mike, do we have a link to that anywhere, or if anyone's interested, or is it anywhere in Project X?
I think we.
Well, if anyone's interested.
Yeah, I think what we're doing with that, we're getting a new version of it exclusively for Project Xers very soon. But actually, you know what, Fletch, you have access to that tool, right?
The sniper
vSilo.
or the vSilo? Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Okay. So if you need it and you can't find it, just email Fletch, and Fletch can send you the dot zip for that.
That works out fine.
Most people probably have it or know about it. So, all right. So then we got keyword understanding. I believe this is a video for me and Mike, if I remember correctly. Or videos from Mike and I. Yeah, Mike and I did these videos where we talk about keyword understanding. Helps you kind of go deeper into keywords. I just did this video here picking domain names. A lot of people ask me, should I go with an exact match? Should I go with an expired domain? Should I go with a new site? Well, this covers all of that here, because we get that question a lot. This is an older video talking about exact match domains. This is something you want to make sure you do with new domains. A lot of people, they are unaware of this. You can get a new domain and it can have bad links to it. You can go register what you think is a brand new domain and it can have bad links to it. So make sure you check this out, checking new domains. Even if you're registering a brand new, it doesn't matter. This is basically covers like interlinking stuff on PageTrick. Made this a little while ago. Ordering articles, controlling your SERP entry. A lot of people, they get confused, like, how do I get something specific to show up in the search engines, like something showing that I don't want? Well, this covers how to fix that. Okay, there's a certain plugin you can use. This shows how to get Google authorship. I've been Google authorship again. If we go in Google, there's a lot of different ways to do it. I found a way that's been working every time for me. And Google authorship is right here. When your picture shows up, so that's how to do that right there. It's very quick and easy. And then WordPress security. This is also a new video, just showing how it's very simple things you can do to protect your site better. because WordPress sites are getting hacked very easily if you don't have the proper stuff. Sink or swim, very, very, very important video here. It talks all about anchor text, URLs, and titles, and you want to make sure you have watched this video and you have it down, because this is how you're going to be setting up the anchor text when you do your blog network linking. Okay, this will show how I did my linking with KLKS. There's actually a document here you can download for that, but I showed exactly what I did for KLKS and how I set that up, and this will help you understand how you're supposed to be doing your anchor text. But make sure you have watched that video. Again, that was called Sink or Swim. All right. Speed ranking. This just shows you if you want to rank quicker. Just things you can do and what to expect and all that. That's for stuff like launch jacking. All right. Outsourcing just has some outsources on here. Understanding site penalties. I don't necessarily tell you how to find out if you have a penalty in here, but I kind of just go over things that you can kind of look for to determine if you might have a penalty. Like in this situation, if this happens, then most likely you're penalized. If it doesn't happen, then you're probably not penalized. So I just go over different things that help you understand if a site is probably penalized or not, because right now it's hard to determine if a site is definitely penalized if you haven't gotten a message in Webmaster Tools. So I kind of just cover the different things that I look for when analyzing a site for a penalty. And I believe that's it for my section, Mike. Yeah, that's it for my section. Did you want me to go into any more detail on any of that, Mike?
Well, first of all, thank you very much. I think that's extremely valuable. What I'd like to do at this point is zero back in, just kind of sometimes hearing it a second time or a third time about what it's like, what you do when you sit down to go after expired domains. This may be stuff that you covered in some videos. What is it that you like to have before you get started? And the experience of looking through the process, maybe even open, I don't know if it makes sense to even open up Register Compass and just walk around with us and look at some stuff and just kind of go through what's going through your head as you're looking at expired domains, because they're just so critical.
Yeah, we can definitely do that.
Does that sound valuable to everybody?
Congratulations, Stephen. He said the anchor text video took one of his clients from position 144 to position 6. So again, that was the Sink or Swim video. I keep telling people how important this video is here, so make sure you have watched that video, because it is like the key to getting your websites ranked. You got Sink or Swim.
And Rebecca, the entire search engine supremacy area is ultimately about expired domains, and Greg's going to go through more of that right now. So would that be valuable to have kind of Greg go through his mental process? So first of all, Greg, before you get started, if you were dropped off in a foreign country, you didn't have anything, you just had maybe a few $100 and a laptop, and you're getting started from scratch. Obviously, we know that you'd start with expired domains. What are the things that you would need to get started, to get yourself organized and to get going?
Well, I'm just going to show like the filters I'll use. I'm going to make sure it's indexed. Okay, you're saying Google index greater than 0, because that means at least one page is indexed. At domain age, you can play around with these. Remember, when I talk about in the video, when I show something, don't think you have to do it exactly like I do. Like, when I bought Mike's program originally, I followed what he did, but I also experimented with different stuff. Okay, and that's how I kind of found the nuggets to kind of make my own method out of his original method. All right, so when I show you something, feel free to play with different stuff and look into different things, because that's how you really start, breaking off on your own and finding the golden nuggets on top of the golden nuggets I'm showing you. All right, so I'll say lesson 2012. Domain authority will say greater than 30. Auction type. And this is one of the things you can play around with that I talk about in the video. I don't mess around with buy now, offer, or reverse. So I guarantee you 95% of people also don't. Probably more than that, almost everyone. And you can mess around with these three here. Maybe there's some gold nuggets in there that I just haven't had the time to mess with yet. All right. But we'll go with public, because that's what the cheapest domains are going to be. GoDaddy auctions start as low as $10. The buy now start as low as $5. But the publics will start as low as $10. Pre-releases minimum $69 to get in the auction. So that's going to be minimum $69 for each site. So we want to go as cheap as possible since I'm on a budget. And I usually search once a week, just because I'm so busy. You can search every couple of days if you want. So once a week I'll just do this. I'll search all 7 days. I'll search a week at a time, and I'll just kind of go through all the sites. and find domains. All right, so we got 323. Again, remember I'm looking at the auction domains. I don't do the expired domains or the expiring. That's another thing you can play with if you want. Okay. All right, so then we can organize by whatever we want. You can organize by bid price. You can organize by PR. You can organize by domain age. You can organize by SEO domain authority. I usually do by domain authority, but again, these are things you can play around with yourself. You can do lowest to highest, highest to lowest, whatever you want. All right, so when I'm looking at sites, the first thing I look at is the domain name. Okay, so when I'm looking at a domain name, I'm thinking, why would someone build this site? Okay, and if the answer is they would build this site to make money for themselves, then I'm probably not interested in it. You know why? Because that means they're forcing the SEO. All right, if it's something like, redcross2002.org, someone didn't build that site to make money. They built that site for an organization. Organizations naturally get links. The same thing like joescrapshop.com. They didn't really build that site to necessarily make themselves money, but it's for their business. Businesses naturally get links. So the first thing I usually look at is the name of the domain. I determine, why would someone build this site? This right here, Ice Shaper Machine, most likely they're trying to just get an EMD, which this probably has SEO done to it, so I usually wouldn't even look at this. We can go and just check out, see if I'm right. And if a site's like borderline where I'm not sure where it is, I'll always go look at it. And Mike, are we on point here with what you're looking for kind of to go over today?
Yeah, personally, I think that this is terrific. Give me the number one if you're enjoying kind of watching Greg's organic process as he's looking through stuff here. No, guys, nobody's enjoying this. No. All right, Greg, sorry. Let's do something different.
Okay, cool. All right, so let me I had to log in, so let me re-put this up.
Kidding, guys.
You can just right-click and go to SEO My Site Explorer. I don't know if anyone see me do that. All right, so we got 87 linking root domains. And right away, I just don't like what's coming up here. The more you start doing this, you'll kind of get a feel for the site's linking to here, and I don't like that this site. And if you mix like the site name with the anchor text, you can kind of tell like these were forced, like they're forced links. We want to see a whole bunch of different stuff when we scroll down. We're seeing a lot of the same stuff, resources. A lot of sometimes you'll see like a lot of stuff will be like domain name, then just links, and it's just like they kind of got like a link exchange going on. So look at that type of stuff. So right here, I'm probably not even going to look any further. Just by looking at the name of the site and the anchor text, I can tell this is forced.
When you're seeing these patterns, these kind of clear-cut patterns, you're just thinking to yourself, "This is just junk." Like for what we need, this is not what we want.
They did SEO for the site, and I want sites that have links that were not done with SEO, because we can go build sites and make links with SEO ourselves. You know what I mean? So it's not really what I want.
Yeah, and the key golden resources that we're looking for are .gov and .edu links. Which is something you can't get with SEO.
Yeah, .edu and .gov are the best. You can get them with SEO, but not the real ones. You can kind of get the ones that everyone else can get, but not like ones from Harvard.edu/resources.
Right. So not so much like just a blog comment off of a site that with
right.
1,000 blog comments off of it. Right.
Exactly. All right. So, and by the way, the other thing I look at here is, of course, the domain authority. I peek at that. Domain age 2009, so it wasn't that old. So with all that things mixed, I'm just not interested in that site. Now this next one, Cisco FH. This could be about anything, so I'm definitely going to check it out. It's showing a PR1. It's 99, so I really like that. How it's from 1999, so let's go check this out. And if the site's older, I'll give it more leeway. Like, if there's a site from 1999 that had the same links from a site from 2009. I might get the one from 99 just because it has 10 additional age years on it, whereas if it was from 2009, I wouldn't get it. So age can definitely play a part. And since this site's older, the links are going to be under the old the www version, because all sites before 2007, I believe, were set up with www. So most likely when you get sites, you see sites that are before 2006, 2007, most of the links are going to be at the www version. All right, and it has 8 linking root domains. Right away we see foreign. and I don't like that. Unless these numbers were really high, then I would probably look into it, but they're just not high enough for me to look into. So in this case, again, I would just kind of scratch that site. Let's go down to this one right here. I like the name of this site. It's showing a PR3. It's old. It has good domain authority, so let's go check this one out. Again, the links are probably going to be at the www version, and they are. 40 linking root domains. It's kind of on point for what the domain authority is. And right here, this is what the type of stuff we're looking for. Okay, governor.state.tx.us. This is like a kind of like a government type site, and this tells us that this site was a musicians assistance program site. So what that tells me is this was like an organizational type site where it wasn't really made for someone to make money. It was made as an organization. Okay, so that anchor text right there, it tells me a lot about this site. And this has great page authority, has really good domain authority. I really like this link right here, so we can go check it out. There's a PR4 link right there. Automatically, that shows me this site's at least a PR2. So most likely, this PR showing is real. It could be even better than that as we look at other links. And with a site like this where the links look good, what I'm going to do is go here. I'm going to group them by domain because we only want one link per domain. We don't want to keep checking the links from the same domain because it's kind of defeats the purpose. All right, so now since everything checks out, age looks good, name of the site, I like how it's an organizational type site, has at least one good link. Now I'm organizing by domain. I'm going to check out some more links. Angel Flower I don't even look at because usually these are just like when someone like sets up something, you see it has no PR. I just know this from experience. So when I see an Angel Flower link, I don't even check it out. And the more you do this, the more you'll find sites like Angel Flower where you'll just kind of skip over. This is a link from their own site, but obviously I skipped that. I like this link right here because it's from Foundation Center, which is nonprofit organizations type site. Again, this looks like a good link right here. And you can tell the difference between this link and the links of the previous site. Let's actually go look at the previous site, and I just want to kind of compare them just to show you exactly what I'm talking about. Make sure everyone gets it. All right, so look at the difference between these links. All right, we got cure-your-bad-breath.com, okay? This is a site that someone like me and you would make, like an affiliate type site. Look at the difference between that link and something like this right here, or this right here, or this right here, okay? These are sites that large companies have or large organizations. These are the links I want. I do not want stuff like this, which we can get ourselves. Okay, does that make sense to everyone? The difference between those types of links. Again, yeast infection gone, affiliate site. Okay, not interested in that. I'm just checking the question box, make sure this is sinking in. Yes, very helpful. All right, cool.
Greg, can you give us an idea?
Let's check out some more of these links here, which I just brought up.
And when you're done with this site, can you tell us what you think the site would close for and what you would like to get it for?
Yep, definitely.
Great.
So I checked those other two links I linked. They're both PR0. But they have decent Alexa ranking, and I'll look at that. They're from fairly popular sites, so I do take that in consideration, even though they're PR0. So we'll just go look at a few more here, or we'll go look at a few more. Here's one from texas.gov. That's a great link. Metallica.com. All right, we'll stop there. So let's go take a look at these other links. There's a PR2. So we got a PR2, a PR4. That's a 0. There's a 2. So we got a PR4 and 2 2s. There's another 4 from a government site. Okay, so that's very good there. Metallica's a 0. That's a 0. But this site has a couple PR4s. One's from a government site. I really like the links. I like how it's an old organization. Okay, so I'm going to go back here, and I would probably set my limit for this site at, where is it, right here? Probably like $50. Okay, now this site's probably worth about 150. But the point is, if we go in and bid on enough sites, we're going to end up getting sites like this for below the value. Okay, so I would set a limit at like $50 for the site. If I'm going to get it for 50, I'm going to let it go, and I'm going to keep bidding on sites, bidding on sites, bidding on sites, and eventually I'm going to keep getting sites under the value because people are going to miss them, especially ones that show like PR1 that are PR3 quality. This one right here will probably go for the 150 range because it's showing a PR3, but you know the PR1, PR2s, even PR0s, the ones that are higher value of what they're showing, those are the ones you can really get good deals on. Sound good to everyone?
So I think that was great. I think it was terrific to look over your shoulder and see how you use Register Compass. And if you guys have questions about domains and stuff like that, obviously a really terrific use of Greg's time is to join Greg's coaching sessions and ask him about domains you're thinking about registering, questions that you have. Also, we have an All About PBNs thread, both in your Facebook group and in your LinkedIn group. Those are far and away the two most popular threads. There's a reason why. But both Greg and Todd often weigh in on those threads. They're extremely valuable, and that's something that this is a skill that you're going to want to develop over time. It's a really valuable one. It makes you a valuable partner to other potential partners. It makes you extremely valuable, of course, to local client consulting clients as well. So keep that in mind. This is a really, really tremendous skill that you can build, and something that I think is just going to continue to pay more and more dividends as time goes on. Because other people are they don't know what they're doing. They're using things in very, very different ways. And I think that you're going to wind up with more and more success based on this. Okay, well, Greg, I want to thank you very much for coming live to walk through things. Really appreciate you doing that. I think it's could be a great time. And by the way, if everyone wants to take the time to thank Greg here, I think it's extremely valuable stuff. Really appreciate that. And oh, great, that's wonderful, awesome. Did everybody get something a little special out of that? Terrific. Okay, great. So now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to turn things over to Fletch to have Fletch walk through his little special area, his little crib notes area inside of OMG Machines Project X to give you a better idea of what's going on with that, and then we maybe even have a little bit of a surprise for you for the very end of this event. Greg, thank you very much. Obviously, lots and lots of thanks rolling in for you in the question box. It's an honor every single time. I personally, I love watching you. I love watching your thought process on things myself.
You've got an awesome group here for sure.
Great. All right, great. All right, Fletch, are you there?
Yep, I'm on, Mike.
Okay, let's make you just do something here. Make somebody here. Okay, I'm going to make you the presenter, Fletch.
Okay. All righty, you guys seeing my screen yet?
All right, and ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to Fletch. It's really exciting for us to see somebody who started with us, at the beginning of 2013, who's really spread his wings. I think a lot of people have been to Fletch's coaching sessions and have really, really enjoyed them. So a warm welcome for Fletch.
All right, guys, thank you very much. I'm going to go ahead and shift around this question box a little bit.
Fletch, we're getting the number one question we're getting in right now is: are you wearing your Minister of Money Getting outfit right now?
No, I've got it hanging on my video camera behind me.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Do you actually wear that for your coaching sessions?
No, I haven't yet. I think I'm gonna do maybe a little video series on just straight up money getting, tactics and strategies and that kind of thing. And I'll have to get an outfit for that.
Okay. I just wanted to check. All right.
Yeah. All right. So I've never run the screen on this. Are you guys seeing my browser window here?
I am seeing your browser window.
You are? Okay. I didn't get anything there. All right. So we're back at the main page of the OMG Machines member site. And down on the right side here is the Fletch area. I've got a lot of videos in here that deal with kind of mindset stuff. Let me scroll down and just kind of walk you through all this stuff. So these are some videos that I've done within the last probably 3 months or so that kind of talk about monetization and mindset for getting the first things first, understanding where you're going to go with a particular project online. These videos all kind of work in conjunction, and there are several of them that you may kind of get into, and they're a little bit off base. It may feel like they're maybe beyond kind of the nuts and bolts of straight up SEO, but they do really come into play when we look at understanding marketing and trying to get in the heads of the people that we're trying to put content in front of, which also then is very valuable for understanding keyword research and things of that nature. So these videos will definitely help you kind of understand how I look at the entire process, from when I get an idea about a niche or a market or a service that I want to get into, really where I start to go with my keyword research and figuring out what domains I want to create or buy, what my site's going to look like, the types of questions and content that I want to have on my page. And these videos are pretty much all about that. There's a few of these that are kind of fun, and I take a different little concept that I use daily in my marketing or in my SEO consulting or whatever, and really how I apply that. Sometimes they're fun videos like this How to Start a Revolution video is pretty fun. It's a video I saw on YouTube.
I actually really like that. I don't know why, but for some reason that video really sticks in my head.
It's memorable. Yeah. It was something that was
on
I think TED Talks, which this guy took this little a video of a guy that's doing all this crazy dancing on the side of a hill at this concert, and talks about really the difference between being a leader and a follower and what's important and how you get people to kind of come in and join you if you're the leader. And when you start to look at it in the frame pardon me, in the frame of what we do, if you're putting a website up there, you're kind of that leader, and you need to understand that you're going to have a couple followers before that herd will jump on board and say, yeah, this is the place to be. So it kind of really dovetails into everything Mike talks about with conversion, getting a picture up there, having some testimonials or earnings reports and things of that nature that really help you understand what on-page conversion should look like and why. And the video is nice because it always sticks in the back of your head, like Mike said, and it keeps you focused on the stuff that we really want to put on our web pages that make them work well. So this avatar video is about a concept. Well, I think we've all probably at least heard of the movie Avatar with those great big blue aliens, and people that can kind of be a proxy for us, that kind of give us an idea of what our ideal typical customer is like. And this is just the process of going through and understanding why somebody would jump on Google and type in a question that they want an answer to. That's really, Google is there to answer questions or give you solutions to an issue that you have. And so the more we can understand about what those people are doing on a day-to-day basis, or what they're looking for as far as online goes, or what their family life is like, or what their financial situation's like, or emotionally if they're distraught and they want to know what they can do to rekindle a romance with an ex-wife or something like that, it really helps us understand really what products work that we can put in front of them, but also keyword research and the entire thing. So this avatar video, there's actually a couple of them that work together in that really talk about getting into that frame of mind where we can understand our customers better. So yeah, this is a funny little video that I took from King of the Hill that was on television that was talking about selling to a hippie, that you have to think like a hippie to sell to a hippie. This was when I had my long hair and everything, so I kind of looked like a hippie anyway, so I thought that was funny. But Meet Somebody Where They Live really talks about the fact that you need to be, well, after you understand who they are, you need to put something in front of them that works with where they are before you can offer a solution. Hey, you can go all the way over here and fix all your problems. You have to be able to kind of meet them where they live, meet them where they are currently. It's kind of like building online rapport. You've got to kind of pace with them a little bit more than just offering a solution to them immediately. So like I said, a lot of these have to do with conversion and just understanding the market in our websites. Getting in the state, these are a few little walk-around videos that I did in my neighborhood. You know, when I'm getting ready to do one of these projects, I don't just, you know, pop into my office and sit down and start cranking away. Sometimes I'll go for a walk or a run, or I'll, you know, really spend some time getting my head right. If I'm going to write, you know, copy or come up with the concepts that I'm going to put into videos, or really just want to kind of flesh out a market, or, you know, a new CPA offer that I really want to kind of think about how I'm going to, you know, position it and present it to, you know, the people that I'm going to get in front of with SEO. This I'm Real and I Care is really about the idea of, you know, putting some of your personality, or, you know, the human touch into our online marketing, whether it's as an affiliate or an SEO consultant, or we're doing something with a CPA offer. This is really one of the biggest differences between some of the marketing that you guys will see, you know, as you kind of cruise around the internet, that you land on a page and you can tell they need a lot of traffic, because very few people are actually going to take the time to, you know, click on a banner ad or something that they've, you know, got posted to try to drive some traffic to an affiliate offer, for instance. If you take this strategy, you're actually putting yourself into the conversation that you're having with your visitor. So you're offering solutions, you're maybe, you know, exposing some, you know, foibles that you have, or some mistakes that you've made. You're really personalizing it, and, you know, the click-through rates, is, if you want to call it that, the conversion rates that I have experienced building sites or pages like that are considerably higher than they have been on sites where I just put up kind of a fake, you know, persona that I was using as the marketing persona, and then, you know, try to sell things with that. So, you know, depending on where you are, this may be appropriate. It's something that I applied very well for my construction business before I was able to get out of that. And it's something that I also now do with some of my SEO consulting, and some of the markets that I'm in. I really try to stick with markets that I know really well, either that I've worked in, that my family has worked in, that I've experienced, or that I use. And because of that, it's very easy for me to kind of really put myself into the marketing, whether it's understanding that, you know, somebody who's looking to go on a vacation to Alaska to go fishing, you know, depending on who I'm marketing to, I may want to show a bunch of these just big monster fish that people are catching all day long, and a bunch of guys sitting around a campfire drinking beer. But that might not work if I'm trying to market that same, you know, that same vacation to somebody that's a family. You know, if it's a family, I probably want to show, you know, a dad and his, you know, kid fishing on the side of a river, or, you know, things of that nature. So it's really just kind of understanding that you can do that and how to do it well. Guilt and responsibility is kind of just some more mindset stuff. You know, it was weird when I actually came into online marketing from a background of running brick and mortar businesses my whole life, and it was a little crazy for me to start to wrap my brain around the fact that I get paid very well to just do marketing and sell leads to other people. And so, you know, getting your mind right and getting your head right about what you're doing, why it's valuable, really just takes your foot off the brakes. It's something I, you know, dealt with, and I figured I'd share, because I figured I probably was not the only person who experiences things like that. Peacock theory is, I think that's a term that actually came out of like pickup artist niche or realm, and it kind of it deals with the fact that you want to stand out. That's why we want to be number one in Google. Number one in Google stands out from all others because it's number one. Your marketing and your website and everything else needs to kind of do the same things. So this kind of talks about that, how to do it, how to take advantage of it, and how to be conscious of it so that you can make the most out of it. Boy, this one, I haven't shot this for a long time. This Amazon example talks about something that we try to make the most out of, which is kind of testimonials and curation of content. That's kind of my take on how I put a lot of my content together for conversions. And this Amazon example is Amazon. Most of us, and probably all of us, know the Amazon Marketplace, and they're a big e-commerce site. They can't really put the personal touch into all of the marketing of all their products, And so what they do is they let their customers do that for them. They let the customers go and post reviews on all the products. And this kind of goes into, you know, the actual psychology of why Amazon does that and why it works so well. And, you know, there's a lot of takeaways that you could apply to your own websites and, you know, marketing efforts from that. Getting beyond authority really is that you can be not only the authority, because you won't always listen to the authority, but you very often will listen to somebody that is an authority that also shows that they care about you. This kind of talks about that. This is another video that I was kind of cruising the neighborhood talking about that kind of thing. The Pareto principle is the actual technical term for something that's called the 80-20 rule, which means that usually about 20% of your effort or projects is going to be responsible for about 80% of your income and success. So we always want to kind of pay attention to, if there are certain things that we spend a lot of time on that really don't give us a lot back, maybe we just need to kind of cut those things out of our, our business. Maybe they're projects that just really don't fit well with us, or that they're just, for whatever reason, they're not giving us a lot of, benefit to spending that much time on. So why not just kind of focus on the stuff that is working well, do more of that, and we wind up with even more success. So just kind of paying attention to what works and doing more of what works and less of what doesn't. And then this last video in this section is really using tactics that fit the market. So I've seen a lot of people who do affiliate marketing or launch jacking or something really well, and then they will go and try to do that exact same thing to do local lead generation, and it really doesn't work that well. Or they're trying to figure out launch jacking, and they're trying to figure out what a bonus should be, and they offer a bonus that really doesn't even come close to fitting with the product. If somebody's looking for this, how to publish an online magazine, and you're offering them a way to rank in Google local results, those things don't really fit together, even though there might be a lot of value in either of them. Just understanding that the tactics that you use need to fit in with this whole concept that we've come up with, which is figuring out who your avatar is going to be, really figuring out what your message is going to be, and then also what your position is going to be and how you deliver that message to them. So that's kind of what this section is about, I think. Yeah, and then we've also within the page here, we've got replays of all of the office hours that we run. So we go back to November 8th. I ran one here, the 13th, the 22nd. Yeah, you've got them all here. And I actually ran one on 2 days ago, on the 20th, that is not yet posted. But whenever you watch on my website, we're still kind of playing around with the format and stuff, so these have evolved a little bit, but the replays here are my Camtasia recordings, so you actually have a face to go with the content that I'm talking about. When you're actually in the live environment, you don't have the face down here, you just have kind of the chat box in the video. So that's kind of what we have here, and then we are also in the process over this next week, well, this weekend actually, I'll be getting the videos completed. But we're going to go through, and I'm going to do kind of a walkthrough of getting up and running with affiliate offers, going through the ClickBank marketplace, getting your affiliate codes out of there, how to post it, kind of really general stuff, but just, how to take those things and apply them to our WordPress sites. We're going to go through some CPA offers that are very similar, but do have a few differences. And you'll probably actually get to have a look at the websites that I'm using to promote those things. So I've got a couple project websites that I'm going to do a little bit, over the shoulder. This is how this marketing project started. This is what I did. This is the keyword research I did. This is how I monetized it. And really, these are the results that I've got. So I've got a couple websites that I've used over this last year that I'm going to turn into kind of projects. So those will be something that will continue to flesh out this my video area, probably on the Fletch main page here. So.
Awesome, Fletch. I really appreciate that. And Fletch focused this lesson mostly surrounding conversion stuff, which is really terrific. And really when it comes to website conversion and money getting, the more examples you have, far and away, the much better off you are. And I think that's really valuable. Keep in mind, Fletch also has terrific expertise when it comes, and growing all the time, when it comes to SEO, when it comes to private blog networks and so forth. So when you come on his office hours, don't be afraid to ask him SEO questions. If he doesn't know the answer, he'll at least be able to get that question back to Greg or to me, and we'll make sure that we get that taken care of. You do take advantage of both Fletch and Greg's office hours. They're an extraordinary resource. We want you on there. We want you asking questions. Throughout the week, you can keep your notebook that you should have for OMG and HP 2014 Project X. You can be writing down the questions that you have that are coming up for you. Of course, be active in the groups, in the Facebook group, in the LinkedIn group. But you can also be writing down your questions for the sessions with David or with Fletch and Greg. And really find that people that are asking questions all the time are the people that are going to really even be giving themselves more and more of an edge as time goes on. So thank you very much, Fletch. I really appreciate it. Again, so glad to have you on board with this. I'm glad to have had that walkthrough of your area. We'll take the presenter screen back here for just a second.
Sounds good.
And there are lots of thank yous rolling in for you. Now, I believe we have one final, and I didn't know if this is going to happen or not, but I believe we have one final special treat for you today. I can't be sure. David, are you here? We can find out if David's here.
I am. I'm here.
Okay, terrific. Are you thinking about talking a little bit about the law of implication and stuff that's going on with OMG?
I'll do it fairly quickly because I cover it pretty well in the videos, but I'll certainly be happy to say hello and introduce things, do a quick overview.
All right, terrific. Well, I'm so everyone. I'm so proud to introduce you to David Mills here. In person. If you're at OMG Live, you also got to meet him there. And I just sent out. This is such cool timing because just about an hour ago, a little bit more than an hour, maybe an hour before we started today, I sent out a dispatch, and we've just released David Mills' Law of Implication. And so I was hoping that David would come on live today and talk a little bit about that, and it'll be a great way for us to end. Diane says, hooray. I agree, Diane. I don't know if anybody watched my video. I don't know if anybody watched my video that I just shot this morning, my GTR video, but every single day this morning I woke up and I opened up Sprout Video. I was like, oh, I hope that there's another Law of Implication video, and there it was on money getting on creativity. And I actually downloaded it to my laptop. I went over to Whole Foods and I was eating breakfast and I was filling up notebook pages. Really terrific stuff. David, I haven't gotten the chance to talk to you since that video, but I loved it, and it's terrific.
Oh, thank you. I'm so glad.
Yeah. I can't wait for everybody to get inside of this. So we're going to end off this event with David talking about the law of implication. David, would you like to share your screen, or would you like to just have me go somewhere?
Yeah, I can share it. It's not going to be anything too exciting.
Okay. Or would you like me just to go to maybe I should?
No, the only reason I'm saying is I work from downstairs in my home, and everything will be okay. But my son just ran to my door. It'll be okay. I think my wife's taking him away. But he kind of gets excited about.
Oh yeah. No, I have the same reaction.
He's 1.5, so there's not a lot of reasoning with him at this point. But he's very.
For sure. Well, I pulled up.
I actually didn't tell my wife that I had a webinar right now. So okay, I think it's all clear. We're good.
Great. So I pulled up the law of implication money getting module right here. Would you like me just to keep it here?
Yeah, you could just keep that on your screen. It's
right.
Really fine. It'll probably be simpler just to do it that way. That's what I would have had. So.
Right.
Okay. Or did you want to say anything, other great things about me, or do you want me to just say great things about myself?
Well, hopefully everybody's heard me talk about David at this point. I'll tell you this. David has been the architect behind over $30 million worth of businesses, $1.5 million in the last 30 days, if you're wondering if it still works and what he does still works. I'm entirely unwilling to work on any sort of a business venture without not only without David's involvement, but without David ultimately calling the shots on it. David does ultimately call the shots. He makes the ultimate final decisions on everything that we do with OMG. He was also the guy who designed the OMG Live Nashville event that just was just so incredibly wildly successful. One of the ideas behind what David does that I think is grown in popularity, at least to a decent extent, is the idea of a meta strategy. And a meta strategy is kind of the foundational strategy that underlies any successful strategy. So, for example, the really easy, straightforward example is in contact sports. You can have terrific technique if you're a football player. You can really know all the plays and all the X's and O's. Or if you're a basketball player, you can really know all the plays and have really great technique. But at the end of the day, if the next guy is way bigger, way faster, and way stronger than you, then you're at a disadvantage. And when it comes to money getting and overall success in life, really getting these meta strategies down is far and away something that's going to help you have so much more success. Of course, we're going to arm you with all kinds of specific step-by-step techniques to have success, to get visitors to your website and to turn those visitors into paychecks. But ultimately, if you don't have these meta strategies down, it's really going to put you at a disadvantage. So what I'd like to do is introduce you to David. David has I talked about kind of a number of real shock before and after results at OMG Live with just with business. One of the things I'll say is something I didn't talk about was leading into OMG. David and I ran a business that was an SEO business with another partner, and that business had moderate success, but it wasn't the kind of business that we could really put our stamp on. It really wasn't the kind of business that we could call the shots with. And that business, it had a lot of customers and it made a lot of money. And for a lot of people, that would have been great news. It was it was $1 million business, and it had tens of thousands of customers, actually, about 20,000 customers, and it had a number of people who had success in the 4-figure range. A couple of people 5-figure, and even maybe one 6-figure per month testimonial. It's actually Greg, and that's for a lot of people, they would think that was a success, but it wasn't something that David and I were satisfied with. And so we did OMG, and just to talk about NHV, which is the program you're in now. For the next year, we focused on NHV. We really focused on its success, and we had 500 members, a little bit less than 500 members in the NHV program, and we have over 70 people with 5-figure per month success, and several with 6-figure per month success. So instead of having tens of thousands of customers, and then maybe less than a dozen having 4-figure per month success, we had 500 customers with 5-figure, several, dozens and dozens and dozens of them with 5-figure per month success, and many more with 6-figure per month success. And that'll give you the kind of idea of when you're playing with the right strategies, when you have the right factors on your side, you can really exponentially increase your success. I want you to have this. This is the reason, this law of implication is the reason why I got into internet marketing, was to give you the opportunity to have access to this and to spread it to the world. So in the video I shot earlier today, I said that to me, this was like an Indiana Jones movie where he finds the Ark of the Covenant or the Holy Grail, and it's just that exciting. For me, this is that kind of Ark of the Covenant, Holy Grail thing. I can't stress enough how valuable I think that these training videos that you have inside of Project X are, and even more valuable in getting inside of the law of implication will be for you. So with that, David, I'll let you take the reins.
Okay. Hey guys, I'm excited. I've made 2 videos that are in the Project X area, and I'm going to be making several more. I'm a little bit caught in between when I'm making the videos for the Project X members area, or whenever I'm talking about the law of implication. The thing is, what makes the law of implication unique, and I know that that's one of the big questions, or might not be a question or assumptions, is when someone talks about the type of thing that I seem to be talking about with the law of implication, people wonder what it's similar to, or what I read to synthesize the information. And I really didn't make it that way. I did read lots of stuff and was interested over a decade ago, but I came across a few realizations and discoveries and breakthroughs over a decade ago that have led me to be doing my own process of figuring things out, so that it's really highly unique at this point. so I'm caught in between. I'm trying to make videos for you in the Project X area that are pretty applicable without understanding all the way to the core of the law of implication methodology. But then I strongly hope that you'll go on and just get the product itself. It's quite it's inexpensive, and get the whole core. But regardless, you're going to get a lot just as part of your membership. And just by way of giving you an angle on understanding it, when we're growing up, and literally from when we're born, then our oh, sorry, I got distracted for a second by the screen. But when we're growing up, then we're given beliefs just kind of get installed into us, right, from our environment and our parents and school and everywhere. And we have some kind of default method of thinking about things and making decisions. And one interesting thing is to ask ourselves, when did we ever stop and really stop and try to figure out, maybe when we were 15, maybe 20, maybe 25, 30, whenever, and try to figure out what's really going on. What's really going on with who we are, with how our brain works, with how we can really make decisions, how we can really know what's true. And if you think about it, the entire quality of your life and all of your success with Project X is all going to come down to decisions that either you make consciously or that you're not even aware of, that your subconscious is processing for you, and so forth. And so your process of thinking, that's a major deal, right? You got, by the time, let's say you were 20, you had all sorts of beliefs, including about how to think and how to understand the world and what's good and bad and so forth. You had all sorts of beliefs at that point, and probably you had never taken a real huge stop in life, and maybe taken as many years as it took and as many hours a day as it took to try to figure it all out, how to filter that properly, how to figure out what's going on. And what we do, what our brain does when it isn't sure about something, it just looks around at our environment and our peers as a major thing, and it sees what they're doing, and no one else is doing that either. And so everyone just assumes, essentially, that they know how to think and make decisions well, and they just go straight to the part where they apply their process of making decisions and apply the process of interacting with their brain, and just never stop. And imagine a different world where when people were, say, 15, they stopped and spent maybe hours a day just because they wanted to or because that's what everyone else did, and started working on a system or the system by which they could think most accurately and by which they could interact with their brain most effectively in order for it to think and do what it does, and then how to interfere with that consciously and get that straight, and spend as many years as it took doing that. Maybe it would take 10 years, several hours a day, but that would only make sense. Then by the time you're 25, perhaps you know how to think extremely well, make extremely good decisions, and so on and so forth. And that would have, again, that's so alien to us. It's so contrary to our experience and to how we've gone through life. But as I say that, think about if that actually makes some sense. And so that's what I mean. My worldview, my mental model for the world at this point is so radically different than what it normally is for people, including that, to me, to generally everybody, is the idea of spending hours and hours a day for maybe 10 years straight is to figure out how to think straight. That's a ridiculous concept just by their action, just by how they actually live their lives and how they have lived their lives. To me, it's absurd not to do that. So I look at the world really radically differently, and I wouldn't say that I spent necessarily hours a day for decades, but somewhat close. It's not that far off. I didn't make very much money. I worked for myself. I didn't have to work very much. I taught in a course on accelerated learning that I created for myself, and that left a lot of my time free, including months at a time when I wouldn't be teaching at all, so I could be really free. And so I spent well over a decade, really about 2 decades, working on this really strongly. And I have an understanding of God where I can actually show you how to prove that God's true. But regardless, let's just say, to speak commonly, that I believe that God exists. And so I would pray constantly for wisdom and for understanding, while also, working on it constantly, while writing in a notebook constantly, and more notebooks, of course, several notebooks. And I'll just bring to mind one really quick story. I was at church one day, and they had us split into little groups of like 3 people, and just to share prayer requests and to pray for each other. And I didn't really have anything particular that I wanted other than that I just said to pray for wisdom. And one of the persons said, "Oh, do you have an important decision to make?" And I hadn't really thought of it that way, but it's interesting to realize that that's generally what people would assume, is that if I'm praying for wisdom, then I'm doing it about some important decision. But if you think about it, it's just sort of obvious that we want lots of wisdom, right? Like that's just going to, every single day, we're going to make better decisions and realize things we might not even realize that we wouldn't have even realized to make a decision about it. And so what could be better for our quality of life than just have lots of wisdom? And then by the time I really started to figure things out, around the age of 30, a lot of things started to come together for me, and that's when my kind of overt results in life really skyrocketed. I met my wife, who's really wonderful, and we have a terrific relationship for the last 10 years. We've been married for over eight years. And, of course, I'm doing very well in business, and I'm pretty much financially independent at this point. And it's all just directly traceable to applying the right methods that are very predictable. Mainly just listen to me talk about this stuff. Go through the videos that I've made. I've made 2 intro videos that are on what amounts to an order page or a sales letter, but they're full-on training. They're not sales videos, except for I say, listen, go ahead, even if you have to eat peanut butter sandwiches for a month to afford $99 for the product, then do that. It's worth it. It's worth, if you had $1 billion and maybe $3 million, $1 billion and then $3 million, it should be worth $1 billion for you if you had to pay it to understand what I have to share with you. It's just crazy. So the main thing is just to go through the stuff that you have for free, which is 2 extensive videos on this Discover Law page that Mike is showing, and then all the videos I'm going to make for you in Project X. And then if you and whenever you'd like to, I hope that you'll pick up the law of implication product. I've priced it, and my whole motivation in life at this point is basically to have the greatest consumption. I don't want to. It's not really that I want to make the most sales of the product or not. I could price it a little lower if I want to make the most sales, or even make it freely available. But I want it to be consumed the most and taken most seriously by people. And I also, a lot of you will end up being affiliates for it because of your SEO ability, and it hopefully will become a popular product over time. It might, I don't know if it, if it's going to be months or a year or so before I particularly get the sales process for people in the public straight. But again, what I want is for people to consume it and to use it, and so forth. And I get all the way to the bottom of how to think literally without assumptions and without perspectives to some degree, and to build up from there. And I show you how to do things that are supposed to be impossible, such as even you can know that God exists, and the only way you can know that God exists is to know how to know in a way that's flawless. And it doesn't mean you can know everything, but there's certain things you can know in a flawless fashion, and it's purely better. Much like when we perform cash transactions, we really have what amounts to a flawless method for doing addition and subtraction. And so notice that people don't have a lot of fights over how much change they're supposed to get when they perform a transaction, right, when they buy something. So that's better. It doesn't make people dogmatic. It just actually is just much better that we don't have fights over how much money you should get back if something's $3 and you get someone a $5. So it's not a problem at all to be able to think clearly sometimes and have the unknowably correct answer to some things. And it's actually possible. And one indication you can have that it is possible to know certain things, even things well outside of mathematics, is that if it weren't possible to know something perfectly, you couldn't even know perfectly that something is more likely to be true. So if you think that murder, wanton murder and serial murder is wrong, then either you have a way to know that that's true perfectly, or you have to say, well, you don't know. And if you say, well, I think it's probably wrong, then you know for certain that it's probably wrong. So you see, if you keep stepping back and notice that any statement that you're making with any sort of confidence is you're assuming, you're implying that you have a method to know perfectly how to know what's true. But then if you don't know what that method is, then that's going to lead to all sorts of errors, and it's going to lead to all sorts of issues in your life. Maybe the last thing I'll leave you with is that effort, in the sense of kind of unpleasant effort, is just purely a matter, and really all bad feelings, especially emotions, are purely a matter of contradictions within your own thinking system, within your own belief system, within your own mind. So if you steadily have a method to eliminate contradictions within your own mind, then your quality of life and the quality of your impact on other people's lives is going to skyrocket. And it's weirdly, ultimately it's also simple. It's going to take you some time to get to the bottom of the method that I have for you in a lot of ways. Some of the things I'll show you are very simple and applicable, just like in your Project X members area, it's going to be quite applicable, pretty simple to understand, and you're going to get a lot of quick benefit out of it. But I encourage you to try to get all the way to the bottom of things as well and really get the core methodology down. And what's complicated is that we have such a radically flawed method of understanding the world right now. We think that we understand it pretty well, again, just because our subconscious just looks around at everyone else and say, well, we're doing about as well as them, right? Or maybe better than them in some ways or whatever, or not that much worse, and we're surviving okay, and we're meeting our own standards within reason. And so we think we're doing okay, but it's unbelievable how much better the quality of our existence can really be, and also what kind of impact we can have on others. And finally, even if we think wonderfully on our own, then what we want to, people around us are going to be affected by how we think. So if we have this attitude that I'm sharing with you, where we really want to understand how to think and to figure out how to know what's true, and to do that, we have to admit that maybe we have some ideas in our brain right now, or beliefs that aren't true, or that we don't, even if they're true, that we don't know for certain how to know them, but maybe we could. If we have that sort of simplistic, what we can call that is open-mindedness, but in this really good way, not where we're just kind of naively open-minded, but where we have this kind of clear-minded open-mindedness. Even if all your ideas are already correct in your mind and your beliefs, don't you want the people around you to question in a good way some of their beliefs, and not only question them, but then have a method to investigate their beliefs and get them straight? So at least you'll be able to help the people around you to get over their bad ideas as you apply this. So please take this very seriously. At least watch the things that I have for you. And I really look forward to interacting with you and to creating more stuff for you over the coming days and weeks and months. And that's it.
All right, David, I appreciate that. I appreciate you coming out with that and coming out and saying that. I want to give a few people a few notes. First of all, just so you know, I actually did take a couple more pages of notes while you were talking there. So I always get new stuff here. I pulled up my video camera, and hey, everybody, by the way, how you doing?
Whoa, who's that?
So this is I just looked at it. This is a 100-page notebook that I just bought a couple weeks ago, and almost every page in this notebook is filled with notes that I've taken. Both sides, by the way, front and back, with the law of implication lessons that David has been putting out. Now, of course, I get the insider scoop on this stuff, which is very exciting for me. It's one of the reasons why I do this. And just page after page after page after page after page after page. And it just goes on and on. I actually have two notebooks for this now. I have a traveling notebook and then a notebook that sits here. So it's well over 100 pages at this point of notes that I've taken. And it's look, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing with my time. This is the new nomenclature. This is the way to look at things and have, I think everybody wants to have that extraordinary, unstoppable advantage. A couple pages left in the notebook, but it's almost all notes. Almost every night I take at least a dozen pages on this stuff. And I shot this video today to give you some of the ideas I had just this morning, where I'm at this morning on things. You can go to omgmachines.com/discoverlaw to watch the video I put together for you. And then there's a couple videos that David put for you here. And then inside of your Project X members area, if you scroll down to the bottom right, David's got more videos on money getting there. And
Mike, Diane Campbell just wrote, and thank you everyone for so much for what you're saying on the chat box. Diane Campbell just wrote, "Somebody give this man a notebook for Christmas."
Yeah, well, I'll that is Christmas for me. so much of what we do with OMG, I think everyone here, you're inside of OMG. Todd was on earlier. I don't know if Todd's still on now, but presumably he is. I talked to Todd for a while, and Todd's former NFL player, and he played for 3 Super Bowl champion head coaches. And right away when he got inside of OMG, he said that this is that kind of level. This is that kind of level of difference in the internet marketing world. And I think that most people are, give me the number one if you feel like things are just utterly different inside of OMG as just anywhere else, anything that you've ever seen in the online marketing world. And yeah, just tons of ones are pouring in. People say, well, it must just be because, me and Greg are underground guys and that's great. But it's not just that we're underground guys. There are other underground guys out there making 6 figures per month. Breath of fresh air. Thank you, Kathy. But we get such different results with our customers, and that X factor, it just has to be David. He's the one designing the program. Of course, me and Greg are utterly willing to work with David, but we're also utterly willing to work with David because we get utterly different results working with David. Our quality of life is so much higher. And so this is the secret sauce behind things. And it's crazy because for years, I've just really had to, rely on David to get that strategy. The reason why I'm just filling up notebook pages and why I'm obsessed with this is that it gives me access to this methodology and mental model for getting results. We're here to get results. David was talking about his marriage and his success. He's a millionaire at this point. David didn't start good, quote unquote, good at relationships. He definitely didn't start, quote unquote, good at money getting. For years, he made, maybe $10,000 a year. But he was able to use this.
Yeah, I was terrible with both. Yeah.
Yeah, and he has a wonderful marriage. I know his wife. I know his son. I know them very well. He has a wonderful marriage. And I'll tell you this, when it comes to money getting, I don't know anybody in the IM space that makes anywhere near the kind of money that me, David, and Greg make. Nowhere near it. So I said in the video before, this video I recorded here, this is what I'm going to be talking about. This is an absolute just game-breaking, game-changing advantage. We want you to have it. I highly recommend that you pick it up today and start digging through the videos. You will have more and more in your OMG NHB 2014 Project X members area, but really jump in to omgmachines.com/discoverlaw. Come down here, hit the instant access button, and come on in and join us. I really want you to. I'm really emphatic about it. This is why I got into internet marketing, was to share this with the world. Also to incentivize David to put out more and more videos for me to consume, so my quality of life could increase. So I want to thank you, David, for coming live on this webinar. I want to thank everybody who came live on this orientation acceleration webinar. We're right around 2 hours into things. We scheduled it originally for 1 hour, but getting lots and lots of thank yous that are pouring in. So thank you, everybody, for coming and joining us. David, thank you for putting together and being willing to release the law of implication and sharing it with others. Getting wonderful, wonderful feedback from folks, from Diane, Shane, Michael, Barry, Chris. This is great. I really appreciate Jim. Thank you, Jim. Thank you for taking your valuable time, Kathy, Mary, Edgar. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Thank you for joining us for OMG NHB 2014 Project X. Really looking forward to your earnings report. Really looking forward to the distinctions that you get from the law of implication, from discovering the law of implication. Thank you so much. Greg and Fletch, if you're still there, thank you guys so much.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it was a good time.
Greg, can you put out the word? Is it a little different working with David than working with other people?
No, David's horrible, man. All his ideas just flop. So it's funny. We talk about this at OMG Live. Like I'll come out with ideas for stuff, and I'll in the back of my mind, I'm like, that's never gonna work. And then he'll end up doing, way beyond what anyone expected. So it's just crazy how his thinking works and how successful it is.
Awesome. I love hearing that. And Greg, as always, it's a tremendous honor working with you. David Mills, of course, you've been my best friend for years and years. Tremendous honor working with you.
David,
as well.
by the way, David, I know not to question you anymore. I don't even question you in my own head anymore. I swear.
Wow, that's great.
I'm just all right, that's the
no,
plan.
that's pretty amazing. It's always hard. Yeah, it's funny, right? Of course, in general, the way our minds work, everybody's is that the minute we disagree with someone, then generally that's literally one and the same as being certain that we're right and they're wrong, in most cases. And I appreciate you guys so much for when you disagree, being certain that I'm right and that you're wrong. That is a wonderful. That last part was a joke, but but having the space to just trust and try things out and so forth. It's just been unbelievable working with you guys.
Awesome. All right, and Fletch, if you're still there, thank you so much for coming live on this event. It's just wonderful seeing you spreading your wings inside of this program. I know that everybody loves you in here as well. So thanks to everybody. So glad you're joining us on this journey with OMG and HB 2014 Project X and with the law of implication. You are at you're at the very beginning point for this, and we're so glad you're joining us. It's all happening, and I'll just kind of end this with a quick prayer to Jesus. Every single day I ask several times actually. I ask for God to bless me with wisdom and health and to care for me. I acknowledge His ownership over everything, and I'm so grateful for it. I ask Him to bless David with wisdom and health and to care for him. Likewise with Greg and with Fletch and with all of our customers, with all the people that we come into contact with. I pray for you to have wisdom and health and for God to care for you. And I'm just so grateful that all of you have joined us here today. And if you're watching this on a recording, I'm grateful that you joined us on this replay. I want to thank God for sending Jesus to the world. Thank you for the Bible. Thank you for the Word and the prophecies. And just thank you so much for this experience here. And also thank you for the internet. Really appreciate that one. All right, so thanks everybody for coming in and joining us in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ, amen. And thank you everyone for jumping on this event. Really appreciate you. Looking forward to seeing your earnings reports. Looking forward to seeing the distinctions that you gain from discovering the law of implication. And we will see you on the inside. Thank you, everybody.